Hey everyone, welcome back. So now we are going to talk about how and where to enter your SEO keywords in your blog post. So you should have already gone through the text, and in that I've outlined several areas that you need to ensure you have your SEO keyword or keyword phrase, or what we call long tail keywords. So we'll just kind of go through each one of them in order of how I have them in the text. So the first one is going to be your blog post title. So two places. One, when you're doing your template here, this is your title. This is the very first one here. But we actually want to start with entering the information in our Yoast SEO. So down here, you have your SEO title. So whatever it is. So for the purposes of this lesson, my SEO keyword is how to start a blog. So that's kind of plain. Obviously for your title, you want to make it more enticing, more eye-catching, add some extra words to it. So mine is how to start a blog on WordPress using SiteGround. All that other stuff is irrelevant as far as the SEO concerns, but the SEO words, how to start a blog, are in there. So the next one is your post URL. And so there's a mention of the word slug in the text. So your slug is what you enter right here. So first off, you're going to enter your focus keyword here, whatever it is. It could be a single word, it could be a word phrase, a long tail keyword, whatever you want to call it. And so from here, this should, once you enter it here, it should populate right here, but for whatever reason it doesn't. Then you'll enter it here. How to start a blog, and each word separated with the little dashes. So your slug is actually what ends up being the second part of the URL. So it'll be your domain name, for me, girlbossesrock.com, and the slug is what is after this backslash. And so your slug should have your SEO keyword in it. I don't want all of this, how to start a blog on WordPress using SiteGround. I mean, I could, but the gist of it is how to start a blog. That's what people are looking for. All right, so the next one is your meta description. That is this section right here. And basically, that is what it tells the search engines what to display. So when when someone types in how to start a blog, if mine came up in the results, this is what's going to be visible for them, the little excerpt of what this website is about. And so you want to make sure you have your SEO keyword once in this section, only once. And then you have a couple of sentences that you can put in here. So make it enticing. Want to know how to start a blog? I've listed all the tools and resources that I used to start my very first blog. Work harder or smarter, not harder. Say whatever you want. Make it enticing, make it eye-catching, but make sure your SEO keyword is in there. All right, the next one is your post headers. So if you don't know what headers are, that are these basically capitalized text that is larger than the regular text on your page. So as you can see here, I have 12 point is what my paragraphs are set at. And so just so you can see over here, we talked about separating your paragraphs with headers. It just makes it easier to read the text for one, but it also helps you to set apart different ideas or topics within your post. And so from here, you have H1, 2, 3, and so forth. And all that means is, large all the way down to really small. And so your H1 should be the first one that you use, and it should have your SEO keyword in it. That's a 24 point. And that's just how it is, the size of it in my theme. Yours could be different. But then down here, I have an H2, and it goes to 18. And again, I recommend setting your headers a different color. If you visit my blog, almost all of my pages are in the same exact format. My headers are in pink. My clickable links are in orange. It just, consistency and branding is all that is. But by making it bold or making it a different color, it just, again, helps to separate it. If this was the exact same color as this, it would still be kind of hard to read it. So the color actually makes a break in the monotony of all those words. All right, so your post content. So this again is just where how many times you use your SEO keyword within the post. And that could be a combination, you know, anywhere in here that you're using it. The great thing about Yoast is that it tells you how many times you've used it. So you've gone through and written your whole post and you were like, okay, did I do enough SEO keywords in it? You can simply come down here and you have your green lights. So for my post here, it says I have it 8 times. It's giving me the green light. I'm good to go. If you have a red light here, then you'll want to come up here and find a couple more places to naturally enter or insert those keywords so that it doesn't look, you know, out of place. Don't just put it in there to put it in there. Put it somewhere that it flows naturally. And you may have to rewrite a few of the words around it to make it blend, you know, not so obvious. Now, I want to mention, you'll see here, I have a red on my readability. Don't get too caught up on that. The readability is really about how your entire post is formatted as far as, you know, the recommended number of words in a paragraph or in a sentence, how many sentences in the paragraph. It's a general guideline to make the post more readable. This would tell me that this is probably too many sentences, it's too long, but because it does flow and the topics in that paragraph all go together, it's not really 2 different things I'm talking about, it's not really going to affect my ranking. Now, let's say I put all of this right here into a single paragraph. That would just be too much. So it would say either make 2 paragraphs out of it or do what I did and I bulletized the different things that I had in there. And it just makes it more readable. So don't get too caught up in your readability. If it's red or orange, that's completely okay as long as you follow the general guidelines of how to lay out your post. But what you're really going for is a green on the SEO. Now, obviously getting a green on both is great, but again, don't sweat too much if you're not able to get it on here, as long as SEO is good. All right, so now we are going to move on to images. So I'm actually going to go down here. The first place is when you save an image to your computer, you know, you have to give it a name. And so as I mentioned in the text, whatever your keyword is, save it with that name. So start a blog.png or JPEG or whatever file type that you're saving it as. So I'm going to upload an image here just to show you. So let's go in here. And I'm just going to use this. This isn't actually, these are my Instagram pictures, so I'm not worried about the SEO keyword on them. So I'm going to show you. So this one has a 1 right here. That's the file name for it. So we're just going to add it here. And then let's take off of that one. Okay. So you'll notice the file name that I gave the image actually populates right here under title. And title is your actual next thing on the list. So if you already named it that for the file name, then it's going to populate here. And all you would really have to do is go in and change the capital letters. If it was all in lowercase, you know, because the title should have capital letters. And then I actually start a blog on WordPress, add the rest of my full title to it just because it's the title. All right, the next is going to be your alt text. So this is literally just going to be your SEO keyword. How to start a... Now, little thing about the alt text. Your alt text needs to be very simple. Alt text was originally created to help the blind reader software know what to read to explain to the blind person what that image is that they're looking at or that the reader is reading for them. So for instance, if your image was that of a boy holding a red balloon, you would probably use the alt text boy holding red balloon. It's to tell the reader what the image is so that as the reader's reading it, it can relay that to the person who can't physically see what's in front of them. But like for mine, how to start a blog, that's literally what my image says is how to start a blog. So it has the keywords, the SEO in it, and that's all you need. No hashtags, none of the additional stuff that you would normally put for your description. So now we'll go over here to description. I'm just going to say learn how to start a blog on WordPress using SiteGround as a web host. Bam, that's done. All right, so we have the file name, the image title, and the alt tags. Now we're going to talk about the Pinterest image and description. So most of you will not have this box right here. I have this because I have the plugin called WP Tasty, which I have listed in the text, the tutorial. This is great because it gives me this box automatically. I can enter it here in every image that I place on my blog. If someone for some reason decided they wanted to pin it, you know, some people will pin random things. I don't know why, but my pinnable images and my hidden images, they need to have very specific information so that when someone does pin it, and I'll show you here. So I have this here. You can pin me for later. Let's hit save. So when this image comes up, I want to make sure of what is being sent right here in this section, and you know, my hashtags and everything else. And so by adding the Pinterest text, it's telling Pinterest what text to place in the description. Otherwise, it's just going to put what you have here, and that's just not a good description for Pinterest. And again, you don't want to put your hashtags there. So I would write here, learn how to start day one so you can earn money and have less gray hair. I like to be funny. All right. So I'm going to do my hashtag blog, hashtag start a blog, and whatever hashtags that you're going to use. So then when someone pins this image, this is what will show up in the Pinterest description. Okay. So there you go. You have your title, your post URL, which is your slug, your meta description, post headers, post content, the 3 places for your images, which is the name, the title, and the alt tag, and then your Pinterest image and description. And so we will actually go into more detail in another lesson about Pinterest pins because there is a little more to it than the Pinterest text. There's a certain size and hiding images and things like that. And so we'll do that in another lesson. I'm going to blink out of this. So that's it. I hope this made sense to you. And if you have any questions, please drop the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next lesson.